All right, guys. Hey, what's up? It's Steve Sleepy. Welcome back to the channel. So last week we had our snow apocalypse, fun time, insane weekend that just happened, and it was great. This week, all the snow melted. It's 50 some degrees, or well, I guess it's 35, but it was like 60 yesterday. So all the snow melted, and my yard is a complete swamp. There's nothing you can do out there. It's so damp from all the melted snow that even though it's 40 degrees or something in the garage, it still feels terrible and just hurts your bones. So I was like, what can we do this week to have some fun? Well, been part of the Cleveland Moto podcast for, I don't even know, 6 or 7 years, 6 years, something like that. And we've had all kinds of cool listeners call in, send us stuff, etc. And one of these guys was a guy named GROM, and he sent us a little care package of keychains and things like that. And of course it says keep kicking ass on the back, which I'm a fan of. So I decided to reach out and see where he was and what he was doing and find out more about him. And I find out that he's only about 15-20 minutes away down the road from me. So hey, I guess we're gonna go visit GROM. Now, if you guys have a GROM or a CRF 110, or you guys love to wheelie pocket mini bikes and things like that, you probably know about GROM. Aaron makes replacement oil pumps for these motors so that you can wheelie them all day long. It's like a higher capacity oil pump. So we're gonna go check that out. I'm gonna find out about him, find out about his company, find out how he started it, and just hang out with him. So, all right, come on, let's go check out Aaron and GROM products and his oil pumps. Let's go. I lied. He's less than 5 miles from my house. All right, so where are we at?
We are at GROM Worldwide. I spent all my money on getting a big ass building and like fuck the electric, fuck everything else. I needed room. All right. So I 40 by 60, 14 foot ceilings because I wanted the double stack Volkswagens. So I need, because I always buy a lot of them and a lot of stuff, like you see all the bikes. But yeah, so this is just like where I keep all my cool shit and work on stuff in the summer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know. So Pete was right, man. So Pete told me to ask you about the VW stuff, and now we got a double score, man. We got like the GROM stuff and VW stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. Wide 5. I was wide 5 for forever. Okay. Oh, that's how most people know me.
That's what he said.
From the wide bolt pattern, yeah.
Okay. Oh, sick. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Show you around.
I'm on my second life.
Yeah. No, this is great, dude.
I made a little, starting a dirt bike trek out back too.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come over.
Fuck yeah. I was going to say, I wanted to do it at mine, but if you already did it, I'll just bring my shit here.
The creek out front.
Oh, yeah.
It was all filled in.
Yeah.
And because nobody ever took care of it. Nobody took care of this. They built it and nobody maintained it. But yeah, so I dug all that out and I had all this dirt and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to make a track out back. So I got that roughed in. We'll finish it up.
All right, we'll check that out.
That'll be a good time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. Okay. So I was going to use the other cameras, but then we started talking and there was so much interesting stuff going on that I'm like, we should probably sit down and talk. So I think the original question I had for you before we decided to sit down and do this was, so how did this all start? So obviously you like the small bikes, which by the way, check out this bike. I'm going to find out more. We're going to find out more about that in a minute on camera too. But anyways, so you obviously like small bikes. Mm-hmm. So how did that, tell me about how GROM started, how you decided, just tell me, run it down. What happened?
Christ. Well, I was doing the Volkswagen thing from like forever, for like 20 years.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know about this. This is a whole new aspect to this whole thing. So I thought I was coming just to find out about oil pumps and cool GROM stuff and everything. No, he's like the king of fucking VW buses too. So we're gonna find all about that as well. So all right, so hit me up. So we're gonna save the VW stuff. We're gonna get to that. So this is right after VW small bike.
Okay, well, previous to that, I had YSR 50s. Okay. I raced those with my brothers down in Circleville and stuff. Phil did that on the scooters. I got into it right after like the scooters were kind of going away.
Okay, so you're talking like the go-kart tracks.
Yeah, go-kart tracks with the little stuff. And so that was like my introduction to motorcycles. That's where I kind of went and how I learned to ride. And we did that for a while, and then they kind of pushed out the little bikes, and they turned into like motard stuff, and I wasn't into that. So I kind of went away from bikes for a while, and was doing the Volkswagen stuff. And then like before I started to turn 50, I started to doing all this internal work, and like I've been doing this Volkswagen stuff for like 20 years. Do I really want to do this for the rest of my life? And I'm like, no.
You hit the same thing I'm hitting, man. I'm looking around, I'm like, fuck, 52, dude. Yeah. I feel you. So, all right, so you hit that thing. But instead of buying Corvettes and dumb shit or divorcing our women and doing something stupid, we decided to do something dumb with small bikes.
All right. Yeah, the GROMs had come out, they've been out for a while. And then I'm like, oh, that's kind of like a YSR 50, but it's bigger and you can actually ride it on the street.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll get one of them. So I got one of those, and then just the community was like, so I'm like older, and the community is pretty much like 20-year-olds.
Oh yeah. No, you were instantly OG.
Yeah. Everybody was like, everybody was like so like accepting of me and cool. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I found my people here or something, you know?
So you're one of those guys when you see all the bike life people taking over downtown, you guys are out running around those things. So all you guys that bitch about the bike, this is this guy. All right,
reliving my youth being a dummy.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
We do that every weekend pretty much. So. I'm like, I got one bad hip, but the other one's still good, so we have enough to break. All right.
But so I started, wanted to learn how to wheelie, and with a GROM, it doesn't get any oil when you're up in a wheelie, so you need to have a pump for that to get oil from the back of the engine.
Which a lot of kids don't know, but they find out.
Yeah. they could come to know me eventually.
Yeah. I remember back in the Starboys days, like we'd be out at some fucking parking lot, and like, you know, like the 900s and the F4s and stuff, they were pretty good, but there were a couple bikes that, like, you know, some of the dirt bikes that kids would show up to the motards, and if they didn't do that, you'd hear them, they'd be running around and you just hear or that noise that just happens, and you're like, oh, okay, all right. So yeah, there's definitely a cause to have these things.
Yeah.
So all right, so how'd you get into it?
Yeah, so I needed to buy one, right?
Yeah.
And I go and I look, and there's like one guy that's like the main guy, and I look at his pump and I'm like, this is garbage. I can't believe people are actually buying this stuff. It's a copper tube welded, or a JB welded into a stock pump, and there's like the tubing's kinked and stuff, and I'm just like,
oh, so they were just extending it to ramp down so it would sit in the back.
And it's just like, it was garbage. I'm like, I can do better than this.
You're like, I'm not putting this in my bike.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay money for that, which is how I started in the Volkswagen thing too. But so it's like I'm redoing it again. But yeah, so I see that and I'm like, I can do better than that. So I started brazing in and an aluminum one, and I figured out how to bend it without kinking everything and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I'll just start making these things.
Wow.
And it's just taken off.
So in the world of GROMs, is it like you're the guy, right? Like when it comes to oil pumps?
For the oil pumps. The Sun community knows me.
Yeah.
But not, and even a lot of the other people that are in the GROMs, just because I go to a lot of events and stuff like that.
Yeah, right on.
I try and...
So what's the summer look like? Do you go out to these events? Do you have like a booth and all that kind of stuff?
No, that's something I learned from the other business. I don't take anything to sell. If people ask me to bring pumps, I'm like, just go to the website, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm there to have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not there to work, I'm there to have fun. I'm there to for me, it's being older too, it's a lot more about meeting the people.
Yep.
And everybody you meet, you can learn something from, even if they're young. And so I'm like trying to, I'm just there to meet people and...
See, and that's so much smarter. Like when we had Rider for Life, we would go and like, first of all, I was insane. Like I was the guy that was trying to do work, and those guys were there to pick up girls and have fun.
Yeah.
And so I'd end up being the guy that had to man the booth the whole time and do stuff. And you're right, like I'd be at these amazing events. I was at Stunt Wars in Florida with Todd Colbert and like 2,800 freaking insane motherfuckers. And like I can tell you about 10 square feet from like most of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I sat in the booth. At night I definitely filmed some stuff. But yeah, that's very smart, man. I wish I would have thought of that back in the day. Because you're right. And then usually at a show, people want discounts.
Yeah.
They want to, or if you have stuff with you, if they did have a problem and it's their fault, then you end up helping some dude rebuild their bike in the middle of the freaking event, you know? And so that's really smart.
Yeah.
All right.
So I just buy a new pump from Honda. This is the first version of them, up to 2019 or 2014 to 2020. But they changed them totally different for the new ones. But I just mill a hole through here.
So where does it start out as? It doesn't have a hole down there?
Yeah, it's all filled. I don't have any yet because
So where does the oil suck in usually then?
Normally it comes in through a port here.
Okay.
Normally it comes in through that hole.
That's it? That little hole?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is all forward of the engine.
Okay.
And I braze a piece of aluminum tube on there. This is, everybody else, well not everybody else, but idiots use copper, and then they just JB weld it to the housing.
Yeah.
I braze it on with a aluminum rod and stuff, so everything's all aluminum.
Okay.
And then I bend it to get back to the back and stuff. And I also I weld that hole shut, which nobody else does. That's just kind of like an extra thing. Otherwise, that's just they just pack it full of RTB or a JB weld.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I got a little stamp I put my face on. The backing plate and on the pump. And then I put a little charm on there too. For branding purposes.
It's the artistic side of the whole thing. No, that's great.
Yeah.
You found a niche, you solved the problem, and that's why it's working.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
people love it.
And is this all just stock stuff? Like you have to modify or do anything to that?
No, that's the only thing I modify is the housing itself.
Okay.
And the backing plate, well, that whole shed.
So tell me about this thing.
This-
It's been sitting behind us the whole time.
This, the YCF 190 Supermoto, straight from the factory.
This thing is no joke.
Yeah.
And so you said it's street
194
legal?
valve. I've made it street legal.
What kind of process was that? Like, so did it have a title?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
probably what made it easier.
Yeah, anything, I actually got it from Michigan. He went through the process there to get a title for it. But anything in Ohio, especially if it's a Ohio dealer, it's got to come with a title if they sell it.
Oh.
The wheels are turning.
Well, no, and not only that, but you're 4 miles away, so now we can have a Wellington fucking street gang.
Right.
Fucking. And especially because out here, nobody gives a shit. Like, I don't think as long as you're not pissing anybody off,
Yeah,
like, you know?
yeah.
Oh, man. All right. There's your donut. I like this thing. Has you ever got any shit for that?
No, one guy, we go down to Tail of the Dragon. There's a small bore rally down there.
Yeah.
And a couple guys came over from the UK last year. I had lent them bikes, and the one has the headlights manual on that one because I put a light bar on it because I stoppied it and crashed and destroyed the front end.
As you do?
Yeah, that had a donut on. He got pulled over because I didn't have the headlight. I forgot to tell him to turn it on because it's not to the ignition, and they got pulled over for that. And the cop asked him, he's like, "Is that for me?"
All right, well, that was a surprising adventure that I didn't know was going to happen, and I didn't know that he lived 4 minutes away. So now he's going to become part of our stupidity when we do our Sunday things. You have a track in your backyard.
Yeah. Oh, that finished up.
Oh, this just expanded the stupidity. So, all right, we're going to say goodbye to Aaron and Grom Beardo for today. Where can they get your stuff, and where can they find out?
GromBeardo.com or Google Grom Beardo. I'm everywhere. I'm Grom Beardo on all the socials and everywhere.
Okay, so if you got a Grom or if you got a CRF or anything like, one of those bikes, and probably more coming as they keep
The
developing.
pit bikes, starting to get more into the pit bikes.
Yep, and you're going to do all the wheelings and all those kind of things, and you want the oil to actually be in your motor, hit this guy up, he'll take care of you. You got some other shit you're thinking about coming out with too, so just keep watching for his stuff. And then you're going to see his face because it's too close not to, and he's proven to me that he's just dumb enough to be part of the group today, so. All right, well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, we're going to see everybody later. Hey, do that subscribe thing because, I posted this yesterday, man. Out of the 7,900 views I got in the last week, 790 of them were fucking subscribed. I know it's not that big of a deal, but it motivates me. It makes me excited. Plus, if we can get a few bucks into the system, we're going to use that to do more stupid shit. It's not like I won anything. So, the more you guys subscribe and give us the opportunity, the more dumb shit we're going to do. All right, thanks again, dude. All right. Sweet.